Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sasha Farba. Today we're exploring a landmark moment in the art world, a major new exhibition at the Museum of Modern Art in Warsaw, titled The Woman Question. And it brings together nearly 200 works by women artists from the 16th century to the present, spanning continents, centuries, and an extraordinary range of styles. The show offers a rare chance to see how women have shaped art history, often against the odds. Now, to tell us why this exhibition matters, we're joined here in the studio by Karolina Shapland, culture editor at TVP World. Nice to see you again.
Delighted to be back with you.
So I want to tap into your culture brain. So tell us, first of all, first impressions, what is this exhibition all about? We just said the woman question, but why does it matter? What can we find there?
Well, this exhibition is a joyful exploration of women's presence in art world from 1550, because I think it's a common misconception to believe that women just sprang out of nowhere into the art world painting, you know, in late 20th century. And this exhibition, in a beautiful way, not chronological though, through 9 amazing rooms, shows the input the mark women left against all odds, you know, against the facts they were not allowed to go to art schools. Most of the old women painters, when I'm old, we're talking, you know, Renaissance, Baroque, were really allowed to get an education if their fathers were famous painters. You know, like in the example of the famous Artemisia Gentileschi. Can I talk about Artemisia?
Give us a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, because as you go into this amazing show, you see a big metal doors, and the first thing is what's hiding there, because obviously the rest of the rooms are laid out simply, you know, different colors, and it's big metal doors, and behind this there is this amazing huge oil painted by Artemisia when she was only 17, and it's called Susanna and the Elders. I don't know how well you know your Old Testament, but it's a famous story of this pure young woman who was just trying to chill, have a bath in a garden, and she was pry upon these elders, old lecherous men. Now, this theme throughout art history is famous because it gave artists, especially Baroque artists, just a free rein to portray voluptuous young women having a bath. Now, Artemisia just showed this scene for what it really is. You know, she paints these men, and when you see it, you think, well, that's not right. With a male gaze, you know, the other Susanna and the Elders, you think, you know, what a buxom young lady. But here she just puts the story as it is. So it's an amazing painting. You can't, you know, when we went there to film the exhibition, we're not allowed to film that painting. It's just too precious. It is Artemisia is now considered absolutely equal, if not better, than Caravaggio. For the curator, Alison Generis, yeah, sorry, I'm probably mangling the name, to spend 3 years trying to secure that painting to come to Warsaw. Extraordinary. You know, there's just one painting makes the exhibition, but there are so many more. It
sounds like it was also a labor of love in many ways.
It was.
In many ways, and I think you asked me Old Testament, so I'll raise you one right back at you. The Genesis, the idea of this, where did this come from and why now?
The idea came long before the actual opening of the Warsaw Museum of Modern Art. Alison shared with us that she was asked 3 years prior, because that's how long it takes to secure all of these famous works of art. So the idea was to collect and show women presence. The woman question was posed already in 15th century by a French court writer to say, how would the world look if women were just allowed to get on with it and do their own thing? And this exhibition shows this beautifully. So the first room with Gentileschi is all about women and power. The second one, which I think is even better, offers self-portraits of women artists. And it's really important to know that women were only allowed really to paint, they were not allowed to study nudes, paint nudes. And in certain times of history of art, they were only allowed to basically draw flowers, fruit, and themselves. So to see these amazing portraits of women, and my absolute favorite is Sophonisba Anguissola. Now, Sophonisba, a Renaissance painter, was one of the only painter who actually, her father was not a painter himself. He just educated his daughters to have a proper career. And her painters and her self-portrait is just stunning. But of course, there are modern works of art in that very room. We've got the amazing Polish-Jewish Mela Mutter, just stunning works of art. And there are some other little curious, such as there is this room that shows women and gender balance. And we've got 2 medieval paintings of the famous medieval saint Wilgefortis, who in order to avoid her suitors, grew a beard. So we've got these 2 paintings of women in their beautiful medieval dresses, sporting a beard much bigger than yours.
Right. Wow. Well, that's impressive. I got to see that. Well, I think many people should see this. And I think on that point, I'm curious as well on this kind of the idea where it's come from in Europe. I mean, it's significant. It's in Warsaw. I think that's also plays part in this. Can you tell us, is there something similar like this in Europe? Is there something unique, first of its kind, to amalgamate all these women artists? This kind of experience that you're telling us?
It is. It is, given the fact it's 2025, it is extraordinary how few women exhibitions we have around the world. In case of the UK, of all of the state collection, only 1% of the art, 1% is painted by women. And one of the rooms in the exhibition is titled after Virginia Woolf, Anonymous Was a Woman, because we just now are going back through our archives and seeing these paintings that are not attributed were actually painted by women. They are not bad paintings. In many cases, they are better than the men. And I think this exhibition really draws in on woman experience and a woman biography, because again we were taught that it's the work of art that really matters, and actually it does. But if you know about the female artist's life, it's even stronger. There is this beautiful self-portrait by Celia Paul. Now, Celia Paul was a partner of Lucian Freud, considered one of the greatest art. And, when she started, hanging out with him, he was 40. She was a mere student. That's already questionable. The woman did not paint for many, many years. And now, she's really coming into her 40s. We have this beautiful self-portrait with an egg. And if you don't know that he painted her with an egg as a very young woman, the fact that she painted herself, as a mature, successful, an artist coming into her own, it's not as strong. So these stories in that exhibition, they do matter, and they beautiful described by the curator.
It's also, because you mentioned, I think, the significance here of the obstacles that women have faced over time with this, that it's been fairly recent that we're finally getting all the attention. They're getting the attention they deserve. In terms of obstacles, is the museum, is the exhibition, is it structured in a way you can see those obstacles? Because, I mean, you mentioned that door, that metal door right at the beginning. So
well, I think
how does it portray that? Yeah, but how does it portray it?
I think this is a very positive exhibition. We know about the obstacles, especially with the older art. We're grateful that these paintings are there, but there is no, woe is me. It's more of there are these themes. There are 9 themes in women's art. The power, the eroticism, the education, the motherhood. All the themes are there. So the overall effect is incredibly joyous, right. and the fact that this space is so full of young people makes you feel, as an art lover, really, really hopeful.
And as an art lover, just one more quick question. What other exhibitions should someone see while they're here? I mean, it's going to take up more than a day, but just quick one. Just one more recommendation before we close.
I think they should go to Zachęta, which is another much smaller modern art museum. There is this very current exhibition called The Ghost Rider.
Okay.
And the feeling is, imagine a huge futuristic movie, a rave, it's all there.
Right, so it's all there, and it's all in Warsaw. Thank you so much. Karolina
Amazing
Shapland.
city.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. That concludes World Talks. Stay right here on TVP World for more. Goodbye.